Yeah, come on!
Welcome to the Yeah Come On Show with Southside Steve.
Yeah, come on. And for those of you that want to see it, I got my shorty shorts on if you want to do a little.
Oh, wait, we need that's
Yeah.
who was it that says that you show too much leg?
Axel, the morning guy at the River, my former co-host at Rock 100.5. He and his wife, they're big time Yeah Come On Show followers, and they love our show. And he's like, dude, you're showing a lot of leg. I said, you know what? It's what I do, bro. I show the leg.
Yeah, you're one of those that wear shorts in the wintertime.
Yeah, I'm pretty much year round with shorts. I just love them. And played winter soccer. When you play, for like 15 years, and I hated it at first, but you get used to it. Now, upper body, I get cold. I will wear 3 layers up top and wear shorts. My legs are fine. But the one thing on my legs I've noticed, and it's probably through tight jean wear. When jeans were in the early 2000s, when we wore them a hair baggier.
Well, they were a little bell bond, boot cut.
Boot cut
was big with a little almost bleach, not bleach like an 80s bleach, but a little fade bleach. I remember specifically you and Tim Rhodes and English Nick.
We wore them.
And guess who else started wearing them around that time? Me.
Jeff Cole.
I tell you, I've mentioned this before, I think on our old show. I got a lot of my style from English Nick.
Okay.
When it comes to jeans and shoes.
And I would say I got a lot of mine from Tim Rhodes. I had my own feeling about things, but then we both would go, after our show, we'd go to Buckle at the mall and go shop.
No, you really?
Yeah, we went shopping together. So I still remember Seven Diamonds. I actually did, it was a giveaway, but I did a joke yard sale of all Southside Steve stuff. This is when I kind of knew I was moving out of the loft, and I looked at what I had. I am not going to kid you when I say I had 105 pairs of shoes.
Of Pumas.
Well, so a lot of them were Pumas. I probably had 3 colors of the Pumas in the suede. Then I had 4 where the Puma came down and covered most of the shoe, and that was a popular shoe. And I had them in Pittsburgh Steeler colors. I had them in red, white, and blue. I had them. I loved those shoes. Burt Weiss was wearing those shoes as well down the hall. So a lot of us were spending small fortunes on jeans. I had several pair of $400 jeans, but I had a lot of $160 pair of jeans to the tune of probably about 28 pair. Fit me perfect, and it's like depending on what shoe I was wearing or what shirts needed to be tight and extra small. I'm in the gym. Arms are bigger, chest is bigger. There really wasn't much of a belly. And that's how I went like that for 10 effing years. And then I said, I got to unload it. Well, now the style, and it's coming from these dudes in their 30s and maybe early 40s. It's the tighter pants. It's real tight pants. And then remember the suits and everything where you show. We called it waiting for a flood. I always thought the pants needed to come down where they purposely have pants that stop above the ankle.
Yeah, that's too high. Where's the flood?
We call it the flood.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you can't do that.
Where's the flood?
It's like you're waiting on a flood. It's like, why are you wearing clam diggers, bro? So that's funny. And now I feel like the old guy where before I was like, whatever. I have adjusted to that a little bit. It's like a golf pant.
It's a country club look.
It's a country club look. They're tight. And you wear it with like a collared country club and a quarter zip. Peter Millar, there's different brands that I'm into now, where before I was into BK jeans, now I'm into Peter Millar. You change with the times, but they have taken hair off my legs, man. So it's like on my thigh. I never had a lot of hair, but I had hair on my calf.
You think it's from the jeans? Wearing the tight jeans?
I'm assuming. I know people lose hair on top of their head, but do you lose it on your body when you get older?
I don't know.
I just thought it turned gray. But I don't like the hair. So, I don't have hair under my armpits. I don't have hair down there anywhere.
You shave your armpits too? Okay.
I do. I've been talking with a couple of people. I'm on Rumble now. If you go to the Rumble network with John Rocker, and you got to pay to play. I think it's $4.99 a month, but it's worth it because There aren't any damn rules on Rumble. It is the Wild West. Good God. But we're on Rumble, and it's called On the Rocks, and we drop every Wednesday and every Friday. But we were doing the show, and baseball players, I forget, they're homophobes. I mean, they really are.
I mean, if you're gonna stereotype baseball players as being homophobes, wouldn't John Rocker be at the top of that list?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
One of the things he's known for.
I let him know that on accident I've touched two man's pee-pees. You know, one of them was a roommate walking down the hall with a towel over his shoulder. I'm in the bathroom. He doesn't know I'm there. He's just come home. I was in there just taking my time going to the bathroom, and I'm walking and he's walking, and literally we meet. Literally, it's like he's coming down the hall and I'm here and we meet. And when we meet, my hands, you know, I'm swinging my hands. Perfect. I cup him. I mean, I'm holding it for like a split second. And I'm like, soft, warm to the touch. I'm like, ah!
What's the other time?
And then he screamed and we ran different directions and didn't make facial contact. So the other time is these guys were doing acid. And this is during the airline days for me. So this is 85 to 89. And they were going on the A train, and I never did it. I didn't want to do acid. I'm like, man, the bad trip. I like drinking. Fine. A blue moon pot smoker, guilty. But that's it. I'm not doing your pills, bro, and not that one. Not in it, because I watched these dudes lose their mind. So they would go on the A train, and they would each give me $25 to babysit them. So I'm making $150 sitting at home. And I'm just watching these dudes, but it's like a 5-6 hour deal until they start passing out. And I'm there to make sure nobody hurts themselves or breaks the law.
But they touch themselves.
Well, I'm getting to that. Todd, I can't say his last name. He's a great guy. He lives in Florida. He lived in Texas, and he orders Yeah Come On stuff and loves our show. He's cringing right now that I don't say his last name. I will say it started with a dairy. That's it. No, I'll leave it alone. Don't guess. I'll tell you later. But he gets naked
on acid,
and he's running outside. And he's running. We live in this like little condo deal, and he's running driveway to driveway to driveway where they have the patch of grass, and these are these little homes next to each other with like you can reach out and touch the other house, and that's where I'm living. And and he's screaming. I'm like, dude. So I have to like grab him, and he's fighting me. So I just said, you know what? And literally he starts getting aroused. So what I did was the only other time, and this wasn't nice, I slapped it.
To calm him down?
To calm him down. I went, dude, stop. And then it hurt him. So then I was able to get him back to the house. But I still had to help. I had to tackle a nude man.
On acid.
Twice. So there you go. But I believe in trimming the hair. I just don't like hair. And of course, in doing this, I realized this dude not only has hair on his back, but he has it on his butt, and he has it was like a hairy turtle. I just can't do it. You and I both have done landing strips as a joke, fun, just to see what girls think. Girls back in the day did stuff, and then it got to the point that just no girl had a hair on her.
Not anymore. It's all shaven. And I'm doing the same thing. I keep my motor clean. Yeah. Like I say.
I had one girl I dated that had no hair except on top of her head. She literally even had tattooed her eyebrows.
Oh, the fake.
Yeah, but she had a little bit of she was true blonde, but she had a little bit of hair, but had it kind of tattooed lightly. And you didn't even know unless you got like this close. So we say on the Yeah Come On show, no hair, trim it. It's gross. It's meant to be on top of your head. And nothing hurts worse than seeing gray come on top. But when you see gray come down below, soul crushing. That was brought to you by Exit Wealth. I'm sure they're excited for that one. We are live in the Exit Wealth studios, and it's also brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Look, man, Smalls Sliders is the way to go. Oh. I am so excited.
Me too, and I got a surprise for you.
What's the surprise?
You
bought sliders. You went to what?
I went and got a little video footage for you. Oh, that's Regal. This is last night at Windy Hill in 41. There's the one that we're going to go. That's going to open in a few weeks.
Surprise, Jeff.
Yeah, I was in the area, so I thought I'd stop and check it out. And it looks just like that other picture we had. But yeah, it's the shopping center right before the Dixie Tavern.
Okay, I know exactly
on Windy Hill.
I know the shopping center you're talking about. So If you're going north on 75, you take a left, you go back across the interstate, and it's right there on the right.
Yep, that's exactly right. And,
Look at that.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
It already looks delicious, you know?
Man, well done. You get a gold star.
Gold star.
Gold star, Jeff Cole. I can't believe you went and did that. And Sliders sponsors, Steve MZ. Dude, that was nice. They're going to appreciate that as well.
Well, I hope so, because I look forward to being there for the grand opening, and hopefully many more, because they're opening like 50 across the state.
26.
Right? 26.
26, you're going to be at every single one of them.
Okay. Well,
So
that's a lot of sliders.
It's a lot of sliders you're going to eat. But yeah, we are going to travel, and I can mention that in Steve MZ. We are set up to do that. So obviously you hear the people that are endorsing us and the advertisers that we have, and it's an agreement. You know, we do 6-month year agreements, but we also like to come out to your location and do a podcast.
Do a show live on premises.
Yeah, and it's just it's a small fee for Jeff and I for our time and money. I won't get into it, but we're talking hundreds, not thousands. And we come out and we just do a show there and highlight your entire business, and you get a whole episode. I will do that outside of advertisers, but you might have to pay more, a little more. Because advertisers are going to get a deal on anything we do.
They get the sweetheart deal.
Yeah, you get a sweetheart deal. And the same thing with you. Steve MZ is telling you, if you see somebody like North Atlanta Golf Carts that does sports, or Regal Nissan, or Small Sliders, you know, let me tell you, saying, yeah, come on, get you a deal. I've talked with all of them. I want our fan base to get good deals. Hell, it's expensive out there. Thank you for the Small Sliders. Coming end of March, we do the grand opening, and right now we get into a little Steve MZ stories.
Steve MZ.
Britney Spears, probably currently in jail. Why? Arrested on DUI in California.
Regardless of the DUI part, I feel like she shouldn't be driving sober.
No.
Right?
No.
What we see on Instagram. Unless she's fooling us all.
No, she's losing her mind, dude. She's losing her mind. I mean, it is one of those things that I think she's mentally unstable or she's on something. I don't know which way to take it.
But she was driving, and has she gotten a DUI before?
Yes. Or she got pulled over for one. Maybe she got out of it.
No, I'm thinking of that time when she shaved her head. I feel like there was a shot of her.
No, that was like public craziness.
Yeah.
She got a ticket for public crazy because remember she was running around and doing stuff in traffic. Few people have done that one. Martin did that one too. I say Martin as in the show, as in the comedian that played Martin.
Martin Lawrence?
Martin Lawrence went crazy once and was in the middle of the road. These people do some drugs and lose their S. So Britney Spears, I'm just looking at, I'm like, man, she just was in the news because somebody showed up on her property and she's done one of those you can't be within 1,000 yards of me deals, you know? So she's always in the news for something. You're like, you just can't. And Kevin Federline now looks like a great dad. You made a backup dancer that's a hot mess look like a better parent than you. And I mean, that's not easy to do. And it's like, at the end of the day, stop it. She just needs to stop it. The DUI, I'm trying to see what she got pegged for. It happened at the Highway Patrol pulled her over. She was handcuffed. People saw it. People took pictures. She was booked by the sheriff's department. She's out at 3 a.m. driving.
Yeah, nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah, nothing. She got, but because of good attorneys, she was released from jail by 6 a.m. And she's now out and at home.
Yeah, she just had to go to the drunk tank for a few hours. We've all been there.
I guess, you know, and it's like she had a legal victory on a guy. I mean, in the news right now, there's a few crazy people. Shia LaBeouf can't stay out of trouble. Britney Spears can't stay out of trouble. They're just, is it success too quick? She had 2 boys with Kevin Federline.
Yeah,
2 boys.
And she was an international star at whatever, 17?
Yeah.
17, 18?
And she's accused, mainly grounds for divorce, abusing alcohol. So, I mean, stop. It's just nuts, man. But that's Britney Spears in the news. I mean, I think we're going to hear the worst at someday. And I hate to say it. Sad news, good news. She came in. We'll get the whole, I guess we'll find out the situation as much as she's allowed to talk about. I'm talking about the Today Show. Chloe Melas is on our show. It's Today with Chloe. She does it with Jeff and I on the Yeah Come On show, has for over a year. And she is good friends with Savannah Guthrie, as is, I'm assuming, a lot of people that work on the Today Show. Savannah Guthrie, since her mother was taken, still nothing, made her first visit to the Today Show. Just did it and just came in to say thank you. She's obviously hearing what people are saying and watching it. So she visited the show. And, you know, it's just sad.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's been over a month.
Over
now.
a month. And there's no new news.
Nothing. No leads.
Nothing. And if they're being quiet because they think they're close or they think it's an inside job or it's somebody near or they're monitoring somebody, that, you know, who knows? They go a month and a half sometimes monitoring the trash, trying to get DNA off stuff. And they did find DNA. So whoever it is has not committed a crime. But if they think somebody did it, family member, neighbor, whoever, they just need to get DNA and see if it matches what was found.
The DNA from the glove that they think.
That's all they've got. And there's nothing else going down. So, you know, it's just not good. I will say, mentioning Savannah Guthrie, I will go another Savannah for Steve MZ. Savannah Chrisley. She's hot. You saw it coming. She's real Southern, you know, helped get her parents out, went to the president of the United States, right or wrong. Now the FDA's on her. This family can't stay out of trouble because she is putting out alleged false information, misleading information on weight loss. And I guess she's getting traction on what she's talking about. So other weight loss people have come down on her and said, hey, enough is enough. And they said advertising that they reviewed what she said on Good Girl RX.
So just what she doesn't have a product she's trying to sell. She's just talking about
putting it out there.
And the FDA's getting on her.
And the FDA's getting on her. They're like, hold on, your site, you can go to it, Good Girl RX. And it's just the way she's making money. Obviously, she's in fantastic shape. I mean, if you look at her, this girl is built and she's perfect. But the FDA is like, you can't claim that. You can't. That's not an FDA approved option. It's not clinically proven. I'm just looking at the one-liner. So they're riding her butt and making her, you know, basically take down some stuff, not say some stuff, and she's in violation of the federal law. They gave her 15 business days to make corrections or legal action. So there you go. Steve MZ, baby, come on! That was fun. It's always fun to talk trash about people, isn't it?
Well, DUIs are always interesting to talk about. And in fact, I just saw a story that, you know, Justin Timberlake got one a couple of years ago, and they just released the body cam footage, and he like tried to suppress it because it, you know, makes him look bad.
Was he giving answers or begging or pulling I'm an actor? Do you know who I am?
No, yeah, I overheard it.
Yeah,
and I was like, he was sort of in the news as well, related to his DUI a couple of years ago.
You know what? Sometimes you play an actor. He's been an actor.
He's a good actor. He's a triple threat.
He's
one of those home runs.
Sing, dance, and act, and he just acted like a drunk that night. That's all it was. Coming up now, and it is brought to you by Exit Stage Left Advisors. Again, we talk about selling businesses along with Exit Wealth. It's like, look, man, exit with money in your hand. They've been getting over 20 to 30% over asking price. I hear the deals. This office buzzes twice a week. Buckhead is always buzzing. There are like literally like 10 people in there all wearing like Exit Stage Left Advisors stuff, and they're on the phones. And they're doing a lot of business outside of Georgia, so we want to bring it here. So I basically said, let me help with blue collar business. Those are the ones I've represented in my career. Those are the business owners I know, a lot of my friends, heating and air, plumbing, landscaping, anything along those lines. That if you're ready to make a change or sell it or find out just what it's worth, give us a ring. Right now, it's a little time for politics.
Polydictainment.
So the Senate voted yesterday on the President War Powers Act, where does the president have the authorization to bomb without congressional approval? And they said, yes, he does.
He does.
The Republicans, so to speak, won. Even though it's real, there's some Republicans that voted with the Democrats, and there's some Democrats that voted with the Republicans. This is really kind of dividing both parties.
That yeah, and maybe that's the way it was meant to be when it was designed. Maybe it should be that. And if I'm correct, they're supposed to represent what the state thinks. I can tell you, several politicians in Georgia are not checking with anybody other than the 6 mile radius downtown Atlanta. That's the only people they're representing. They're not representing anybody outside the state
Well, you're right.
or
because
outside the city.
Our guys, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, voted yes, meaning they voted he does not have the power
Idiots.
to do that.
Sorry, I am sorry to use that word. I've told my kids not to use idiot, but I'm old enough to use it. Y'all are idiots. You really are. And I
Well,
saw.
wait, I mean, not necessarily. Let's back it up.
Well, hold on. I just should. And this is my opinion. Idiot for not standing when he didn't stand for the president over the people that were injured by drivers that were illegal drivers that shouldn't have been driving vehicles. There's certain things I understand you can't stand for. But when it came to the hockey team, when it came to hurt children, when it came to illegals shouldn't have driver's license, when it came to open borders, and he doesn't stand for that, I got a big problem. How many illegals do you want in Georgia that are causing problems that are bad people? That's where I called them an idiot. He should have stood, and he sat there.
Yeah. But which one? Both of them?
I only saw Warnock. I didn't
yeah.
even see Ossoff there, and I guess he was.
Maybe. I don't know if he was there or not.
He might not have been because a lot of people decided not to come. I understand, and I will say, I understand Democrats not liking Republicans, vice versa. But there's got to become a point where we do agree on certain things. So I don't know that I'm upset that people cross over. I want them to represent their states. I want them to represent their populations and not just go with what they personally think.
Well, or what their party thinks nationally, or what they think the pulse of America is.
Yeah, you can disagree with your party, and it looks like some Republicans are.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Rand Paul's one of them. Thomas Massey. Yeah, there's some. But on the other side, John Fetterman, Democrat, he voted with the Republicans on this.
What are your thoughts? And I agree you were going to make a statement. The war, it is one of those things people talk about. A lot of people are like, are they coming for us? But I will say that Israel does push to get us involved. And Israel's been saying, since the audio you played, you educated me on this show, since 1996, he's been saying they're weeks away.
Netanyahu has been saying they're right over there, close to getting a nuclear weapon, and so we got to do something now. That's what Trump said the other day. If we didn't do anything right now, there could be a nuclear war. That contradicts last summer's operation where we took out their nuclear capabilities, supposedly. But here we are again. I think that last summer was just kind of buttering us up to get used to a war. And the only problem is I don't think we're going to deal with boots on the ground. I don't think. And that's why, some of these Republicans have gone with the Democrats. They don't think he should have the power to do this.
Yeah, boots on the ground is tough. We got hit, Pearl Harbor, and you see the next day, and it was a unanimous decision to go to war.
Yeah.
But Congress was there. So, for me, I understand that he is exposed and knows things, and you do have to get evil. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, they chant death to America. That's
because we're over here in their business supporting Israel.
And I've always heard that claim. There is a fine line to what we're talking about.
You're right. I'm only going by, what I see from some of the people I watch, like Tucker Carlson. But I actually watched CNN last night for a bit.
How did CNN cover?
Well, they had a little bit of both sides. But
fine.
What I thought was interesting is they were like, yeah, this issue is dividing both sides. The Democratic Party is split on this war, and so is the Republican Party, which I think is a good thing.
I think it's a good thing,
it'll kind
too.
of get us together.
I just want my guy to understand how we think. I mean, run more polls in Georgia. If I saw Warnock or Ossoff or any of those guys doing polls where they take the entire state, your feelings on this, your feelings on that, I fight for you, I vote for you. I don't know that there's anything like that going on.
No. Well, there's the House is set to vote today on this War Powers Act, and it looks like it'll probably same thing. So it's going to be bombs away. Trump can keep bombs away. The president has authority to do this without congressional approval.
And the good news is bombs keep boots off the ground. But my thing is, I know there's innocent people over there. I know there's good families over there. And there's people that just can't help the regime in power, and they love their country, or they just feel like they can't leave or don't want to leave. And you can't say innocent people won't be killed. That's the only thing I worry about. I hate that. It's time for sports. Sports. Let me tell you, we got a brand new sponsor for sports. It is North Atlanta Golf Carts. Craig Riddle. Remember the name Craig Riddle. Why? Because riddle me this. How would you like $500 off a new golf cart? That in your mind, you're like, okay, golf carts cost this. They did that. They put tires. I asked for the upholstery. They did whatever they did. $500 off. They're still making profit. Well, maybe so. You got to have profit to stay in business. But what about the used golf carts? He's going to give you $500 off those too. Now, the other area we can help you in sports always is Regal Nissan. And on right now is the service manager for Regal Nissan, located in Roswell, Holcomb Bridge, right there in Georgia 400. I talked with the one of the owners yesterday, and he's like, yes, bring them to Skipper. Ask for Skipper. And, and then he can put you with the right tech. Miguel is my tech. But when you come in, all you need to do is drive a Nissan or an Infiniti. Doesn't matter where you bought it. You can make an appointment or just come on in. The door makes a really cool noise, and it goes straight up so fast. So scary, but fast. It goes down fast, too. But I can tell you that Skipper is running the show. Here he is right now for Yeah Come On Sports. It is Skipper from Regal Nissan.
How y'all doing today, guys?
Doing good. Just looking at, what's going on in sports. And again, everybody calls this the slow period. So I don't know how hard it is for you to find info. The only thing I can toss in first and foremost is Lou Holtz. I just know him mainly. Every time I think of Lou Holtz, I just think of Notre Dame. But he coached in the NFL as well. And then he was a broadcaster, even though he spoke with, it's not a lisp, but like saliva in his mouth.
like he was thirsty? Like dry cotton mouth?
No, the opposite. Like he was just gushing, like a lot of moisture. But Lou Holtz passed away 1937 to 2026. Good life, 90 years old. Your thoughts on that one, Skipper?
I mean, it's sad, but he lived, like you said, a great life. I'm young enough where I know him as a broadcaster. Watch him on ESPN and all, just every day talking about college football. That's what I know Lou Holtz as. I know I think he won a championship in I believe the 80s with Notre Dame, but I know him from that as a child.
Yeah, and his haircut was kind of like one of those old school 1920s, way outside the city haircuts, like a bowl haircut. But I'm wondering now, was it his hair or was it a hair piece? Anybody know?
Could be. You never know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know who it is. So
Nobody.
You don't know who Lou Holtz is?
Yeah, I abstain from this sports conversation.
One reason I have sports guys is because Jeff knows nothing, and I hate talking to myself on that one. So, Also in the news, if you want to hit on it, we have a little NASCAR issue. Jordan is, we talked about him, Skipper, being the GOAT. We've got three GOATs that we think of. We've got a QB GOAT, we've got a basketball GOAT, and we got a golf GOAT. Anybody else, you played the game well. For you, your thoughts on the lawsuits from Dale Jr. I think that Michael Jordan has an issue with one of his drivers.
Yeah, so there definitely was a lawsuit. Going back to, I believe it was in December, was when I first saw it being reported that they're going through, and it looks like that there's been some discrepancy. I believe it's over some trademarking of the number 8 with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's hard to say much about it, when it's an ongoing legal matter, but it looks like there's a settlement of roughly $200,000 is what I've seen. But again, when you get these settlements, there's not a lot of information they're talking about because there's those non-disclosure agreements when you get these settlements.
You're right. It's 23 XI Racing, 23 for Jordan, and Front Row Motorsports secured a permanent agreement. And you're right, nobody's talking because they got some money. It looks like they got their hands slapped and they were sending a message, but the team's owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, and they went up against Dale Jr. But my thing is they've got that driver, Jeff, that causes all kinds of problems.
Now, I do know this story, the Bubba Watson
Bubba Watson is one of
Sorry.
his drivers. Then he's got a driver that is just crushing it and winning. But yeah, he has two drivers, and I'm not saying Bubba's not talented, but he definitely likes to scream racism.
He did the hoax with the noose hanging in the garage a few years ago.
Can't do
even,
that.
Even I was like, that's not real.
No, and it turned out they have pictures that had been in there for years, and it's just a hook somebody tied. It was not personal towards him.
Not as bad as the Jesse Smollett hoax, but
Yeah.
still,
But
it was
still,
around the same thing. Yeah.
It's a hoax. So Jordan, I'm sure, has got his camp in line. He's telling them not to be a hot mess, but he did have to hold him back in a press conference. You know, he was getting heated. Lastly, what else do you have in sports?
I mean, one big thing that happened this week was Jurickson Profar for the Atlanta Braves got suspended now for the second year in a row for PEDs. He's going to miss the whole season.
God, he's missing the whole season?
Whole season, all 162.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Well, what does a team do in a situation like that? I mean, to the Atlanta Braves, they're paying him. Can you release him? Is that a breach of their personal contract?
During the suspension, you do not pay him. So the $15 million he's going to make this year, we're not paying him. So now they have that they can use to go out to someone else. But since it's so late in the offseason, you know, spring training's here, there's not many people to go sign. So we'll see what they use that funds for. Maybe it's a trade acquisition as the season gets going or closer to the deadline. But they will save the money this year. The problem is he's still signed next year for another $15 million. And because of the players union being so strong, they cannot void the contract. You would think there would be some language in there to void the contract, but the players union has fought that imminently whenever they have their negotiations like they're about to have next year.
Can he take the year off and whatever PEDs, whatever he's taking illegally, can he just go on like TikTok and promote that drug to people not playing baseball and make himself a little bit of money and be the poster child for the illegal substance by the league he's taking?
Well, what's crazy is last offseason, at the beginning of the year, 3 games in the season, he got popped for PEDs. And he came out and said it was because he was taking a drug to help with fertility because he was trying to have a child with his wife. So that's what he said last year. But then this year getting popped again, some tells me he wasn't telling the truth last year.
Or maybe he still hasn't had a kid yet. You know, some people have kids accidentally. I'm not sure. Thank you for your time. When you pull into service at Regal Nissan, who do you ask for, Skipper?
Ask for me. Ask for Skipper. I'll get you one of the wonderful employees that we have here to get you taken care of.
Have you picked out a March, come on deal?
For March. So for the month of March, what we'll do is we'll do a special for your oil change. We'll take off. We're looking at March 2026. We'll go with a $30 off oil change on any Nissan or Infiniti for the Yeah Come On deal.
The come on deal. Nobody else gets it. If you don't say come on to Skipper, or say if Skipper's off, which is usually Wednesdays. Sorry to mention that personal note. I'd go any other day of the week but hump day. That's the only day Skipper ain't there. Ask for the come on deal at Regal Nissan. $30 off an oil change. Thank you, Skipper.
All right, y'all take care, guys.
Yeah, come on!
Now, sports is done, and we've talked about mental issues. We've talked about sports. Look, man, if you're an athlete and you feel like you're in a bad headspace, if you're thinking about dating Britney Spears and you want to run it by somebody first, go to David Markwell. Markwell Therapy brings you Track 13 today. Markwell Therapy is in Marietta. Just look it up. Go online to markwelltherapy.com. MARKWELL. Let me tell you, this is the guy to talk to. And if it's not him, if you have a different situation that he doesn't feel like he's in line with, he has 9 other counselors under his umbrella, and it's Ridgeline Counseling. David Markwell's the guy to help you through it. And I think I may be calling him. You know, I got stress and stuff going on. I need to breathe. I need to figure it out. All I can tell you is when it comes to couple counseling, when my wife went in there, the one defining thing we learned is that I'm a lion and she is an ox. So I guess I roar a lot and she's dependable.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. Right now, Track 13. Jeff, what do we do?
I thought I would do one for you That's we can just because we're
Goodbye to
kind of quick.
you.
No, not
Goodbye
that.
to you.
Not that. This is one that you've talked about a lot, a couple of times on our old radio show. We did this song, kind of alternative.
Wouldn't it be good to walk in my shoes?
No,
Nick
that's
Kershaw.
too big. That's
Nick
too
Kershaw.
big. Okay, think album '88. Think that kind of.
Joan Armour Trading, which I could
Okay,
never find her song.
You're getting close.
I'm
There's
getting close.
another song that we played.
Would it be from the soundtrack with Nicolas Cage, Valley Girl?
I
The
don't-
Plimsolls
No,
or Payolas?
I think it's later than that. I think it's like late '80s, early '90s.
Oh boy, man! Ship of Fools.
Yes, I heard that the other day, and I was like, I dug it. I was like, let's do it again. Let's make that a track 13. So this is one for you, one of your favorite songs.
Can you bring him up? Because I think it's a great song. It's a one-hit wonder. All I know is he was very tight. The lead singer was tight with U2. Those bands hung out a lot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but if you want to hear a great song, the link is in the description to the song and/or video. You can check that out. It is Ship of Fools. Or Ship of Fools is the song. World Party is the name of the group. Yes, it is the Come On Show.